Coming up this week on Sporting Journal Radio.
Baits on a quick strike rig in March on Lake of the Woods is the way to go.
Last time you ice camped, and we should mention
it was cold.
I think we're pushing probably about 32 to 36 inches of ice right now.
Broadcasting on the Sporting Journal Radio Network, wherever you get your podcasts, or watch on YouTube.
Fish on right now.
Well, we're here at the 2024 Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic, presented by OnX. Know where you stand with OnX. And our guest now is Jeremy Smith. I fish, I hunt, and always will.
It's just to look out for your everyday hunter, angler, and trapper that's out there.
A Fish Hunt Forever production. This is Sporting Journal Radio. Welcome to the show. We got fishing reports to talk about from Lake of the Woods and Devil's Lake this week. We're also going to dig into some of the headlines around the state, some tragic events taking place. And, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to find out just what David did on his epic birthday party adventure.
Yep. Even though if you follow us on Instagram, you already know.
You already know. Well, we only know half of it.
Oh, that's true. There's a rumor that something else happened.
There is a rumor that something else happened. What is it?
Yeah. Anyway, well, I have a side story, too, for this whole thing. We'll get into that.
You might be involved. All right. We also have brand new hats to tell you about that are available now. We'll tell you more about that. Here's a little. That's right. Here's a little sneak peek, and also what Dan's wearing right now on his head.
Look at that.
Look at that one. That
the
one's
hat,
very
not
popular.
the headphones.
Yeah, not the headphones. No, those are not included. All right, all of that and more, including late season duck hunting. We'll talk about our fishing tournament on the Rainy River. Some fishing seasons are closing on a date you may not realize. You may be surprised to know when walleye actually closes in Minnesota. If you've been paying attention to social media, you might be aware. But if not, we'll tell you more about that. And Dan went ice camping. What went wrong for Dan during his ice camping trip? Maybe nothing.
You want me to tell you right now? Or,
nope.
Oh, are you still teasing?
That's what's called a tease in the biz.
Just a nice 2-minute tease here. Show's over. You'll have to listen back next week.
Who are the sponsors this week, Dan?
This week on Sporting Journal Radio, we have Inver Grove Toyota. Inver Grove is the official truck sponsor of Fish Hunt Forever. When looking for your new vehicle, head to Inver Grove Toyota. Lake of the Woods Tourism. Plan a Lake of the Woods or Rainy River fishing trip at lakeofthewoodsmn.com. OnX Hunt. See private land boundaries, offline maps, and Minnesota-specific hunt layers. Download the OnX Hunt app today. Tasman Lake Lodge. Catch world record lake trout and giant pike at Saskatchewan's Tasman Lake. Openings for this summer. Learn more at tasmanlake.com. The Red River Valley Sportsman Show is back at the Fargo Dome March 6th through the 9th. Learn more at fargosportshow.com. Prairie Sportsman, the new season is here. You can watch episodes anytime at the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel. Haybale Heights Campground and Resort. Fish out of a snow bear on Devil's Lake. Learn more at haybaleheights.com. The Minnesota Deer and Turkey Classic is March 14th through the 16th at Canterbury Park in Shakopee. Learn more at mndeerclassic.com. And Guardian Eagle Resort. Plan a trip for next summer to the Ontario waters of Guardian Eagle Resort. You can fly directly from the Twin Cities or Chicago or Milwaukee. Learn more at guardianeagle.com.
That's right. We got a contest giving away a trip for 2 to Guardian Eagle that we'll also be there with to film. So all the details coming soon. Right now, headlines. All right, headlines are brought to you by Inver Grove Toyota, the official truck sponsor of Sporting Journal Radio. Save money on your next Tundra, Tacoma, or other Toyota at Inver Grove Toyota. They've got some dealer discounts and some other offers available, including our own Fish Hunt Forever offer where you can get money off. Go to invergrovetoyota.com/FHF to find out more, or find them in person at 494 on Robert Street in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. Well, a couple scary deals, man. A moose and a car collide. This is from Bring Me the News, by the way, is where I'm seeing this, bringmethenews.com. A moose and car collided Tuesday night in St. Louis County. My gosh, when we go to Saskatchewan, Dan, that is literally one of my biggest fears.
Hitting a moose?
Hitting a moose. Like, hitting a deer is bad enough, and those deer up there are pretty big. Hitting a deer here can be bad enough. But could you imagine hitting a moose?
No.
My goodness.
That's no.
That would be worst case, I think.
Whew. Thankfully, the person driving the car was okay. It was a cow moose. The moose did not survive, and the vehicle did not survive.
No. You know the best part of the story, though? You know who the St. Louis County Sheriff is?
Who's the?
You're cooking like a donkey. You're cooking like a donkey.
Okay.
You know who that is?
It's a bit like your brain.
It's Gordon Ramsay.
Not only is it shrunk, but it's
Gordon
disappeared.
Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay is the St. Louis County Sheriff. And I'm not kidding. That is his name, Gordon Ramsay.
Two different guys.
We don't know.
The same guy?
Do you know?
I haven't seen him on TV in a while.
Cooking
Right.
like a donkey.
Too bad he's not saying you're cooking like a moose.
Well, I had to find a clip of him not saying the F word to put on this show, and that was harder than I thought it'd be.
It's a bit like your brain. Not only is it shrunk, but it's disappeared.
Nice guy, the St. Louis County Sheriff is.
Glad the guy is okay and not getting yelled at.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if it was Gordon Ramsay and he just came out criticizing how the guy was driving?
Yeah, probably.
I can't
Like,
believe
what are
you hit that
doing?
moose.
Where's the lamb sauce? The moose is raw.
The accident took place on Highway 53, just north of the Highway 169 split. So anyway, glad that person.
Yeah, that'd be scary. Scary
Oh,
deal.
yeah.
Also scary is driving a snowmobile across a lake at night in the dark. Two Inlets Lake, there was an accident. A Sauk Centerman, this is also from Bring Me the News. Sauk Centerman was killed when he crashed into a fish house in Becker County over the weekend. Last weekend, he hit a fish house about 9:30 p.m. When the snowmobiler who was following another snowmobiler crashed into the structure. So I'm sure must not have been in the same track, I suppose, and was following somebody else. Didn't think that there was any sort of obstruction. Yeah, you know, I remember hearing about it. These accidents happen from time to time. People hit fish houses on the lake. Anytime I've had a fish house on the lake in the dark, I make sure I have something real reflective on it.
That's by law, you have to if you're staying overnight. I had to do that for when I camp. I bought on Amazon, and you don't have to have a lot, but I bought for like $4. I got like 50 just little strips, adhesive reflective strips. I have white, I have blue, I have yellow, I have red. So every day I go fishing, if they've fallen off, I get to play the game of what color do I want to put on my fish house today. It's kind of fun. And then I just put those on each side, so at least there's something reflective.
And I want to make clear, there may have been something reflective on this house. We don't know. I'm not saying that there wasn't, but I want to make that clear. And no one was inside the fish house at the time, and this is the second fatal snowmobile crash in rural Minnesota. A 50-year-old Texas man was killed when his snowmobile struck a snow embankment and a tree along a trail. Police say alcohol may have been a factor in that accident. So a couple of sad snowmobile accidents. Be very, very careful out there. If you're out riding around in Minnesota's great outdoors, and now there is a little bit of snow, I'm sure the snowmobile activity has picked up a lot. This is a big shock to both of you guys. I know my snowmobile currently is not running.
You've got a couple more days, and then I think the snow is going to be gone.
I didn't miss much. It was 1 week of snowmobiling weather here that I missed out on.
Maybe next year.
But I rode my four-wheeler when the amount of snow we have, my four-wheeler goes fine, and I actually got to use a plow. So I spent a lot more time in the snow than I probably would have on the snowmobile. So okay, so we got some new hats. I want to bring out. I've got this one. This one's the black camo with the mesh back. It's a trucker style snapback. But Dan, that one that you're wearing, I put this on my Snapchat. So any of you that are following me on Snapchat probably know about these already. But the one that you're wearing, Dan, is hands down has been the most popular. We've been selling a bunch of those already.
Well, yeah. Why do you think I'm wearing it?
It's a good one. It's a good one, and it's the old school camo. They're $30. You can get them right now in the Sporting Journal Radio store. Just go to sportingjournalradio.com, click on store in the menu, and I don't know if it's still up, but it's probably, by the time you're watching this, it's gone. I had a free shipping discount code on my Snapchat story, but if you're not friends with me on Snapchat, you missed out. So $30 plus tax and shipping available right now. We also have Blaze Orange ones, so if you want to get something now for the hunting season, or for Pheasant Fest, maybe you're going to Pheasant Fest and you want a Blaze Orange hat for that. There you go. Now, David, what do you think about? Have you tried one of these yet?
I have not yet.
Check it out. Through the magic of radio, I'm going to toss you this Blaze Orange hat since we're actually in the same room.
These are awesome.
Yeah, throw it on. Sure, you can have that one.
I want the camel one.
I can give it here. I'll give you the old school one too. Here, take this one. I'll keep.
Because I pheasant hunt so much.
Well, I'll keep the Blaze Orange one. You can send that one back. You can have that old school camel one. There you go. Because honestly, they're a little big for I got a little head, so they're a little big for me.
I got a big head, so it fits perfect.
Look at that.
Twinning.
Love it.
Hey.
Looks great.
Look good.
Yeah. One size fits all. And so, David, you went on your birthday trip, and you brought something back for Dan that we'll unveil here in a second.
Yeah.
But how was the trip?
It was good. It was
about it.
Fun. My brother flew in from Florida, and some other family friends were there that we haven't all gotten together in quite a while. So yeah, they surprised me, and we went to the Chanhassen Dinner Theater. Saw Grease.
Your favorite movie?
It's a good movie. I watched it all the time when I was a kid. So.
Was John Travolta there?
No, unfortunately, Johnny couldn't make it. But no, it was a really good show. They did a really good job. And
now with the dinner theater, then that's kind of interactive, isn't it? Do they come down through the crowd, or how does it work?
Yeah, sometimes. A couple
Is it
times
like
they came through the crowd.
Disney, where Mickey Mouse serves you your dinner? Or?
Nope, just normal wait staff.
Oh, that's not as fun.
Did you guys dress up for it?
No.
Oh, because I was hoping you wore
a pink ladies shirt.
Yes, that too.
What?
Have you not seen Grease, Dan?
No.
Come on.
No.
I'm not sure I've ever actually seen the movie either. I've seen clips.
Hang on.
Yeah.
When's the last time, David, you've asked me, have you ever seen this movie? And I said, yeah.
Oh.
Ever?
Maybe once.
Have I ever said that? Ever?
Dan doesn't watch too many movies.
No.
He doesn't get out much.
No, I go out much. That's why I don't watch movies.
So David goes on a birthday trip, and your wife's awesome. This is nice of her. And did she organize that with all the family? Did she line all that
Yeah,
up?
apparently they started getting it put together in like October.
That's great. That's very cool. And I'm saying all this because of what I'm going to say next. Because I think it's great, and it's awesome to see family, no matter what you're doing. It's fantastic. But for your birthday weekend, you went and saw Grease Dinner Theater, and then went antiquing.
Well, so then the next day we got together with a buddy of mine and his wife at a restaurant. And across the street was an antique store. So she's like, well,
you got to go.
We got to go in there.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's fine.
I mean, to be fair,
she didn't buy anything, and I bought 2 things. So it worked out for me.
If one of us were to go to dinner right across from Shields,
we would go. Honestly, antique store, you can find some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Some cool old stuff, and go grab what you brought for Dan, because Dan got a present from David during David's
I never
birthday.
heard that it was a present.
No.
Okay,
So-
well, it is now.
I want Dan to buy it.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit me.
Yeah. See, this is why I've been a little apprehensive here. He's trying to get me to spend money.
All right.
Now, can I point out while he's doing this, remember what I thought he was going to do?
The dance competition.
Yeah. So on Saturday, the local fire department had a meat raffle, so I ran up there to go work the meat raffle with the fire department at the Legion. So, you've got a bunch of dudes in there and families, whatever, the local community. Guess what's on the bar at the Legion, the TV at the bar at the Legion?
Hockey game.
High school dance.
Yeah, this is the night of the Team USA Canada, one of the most epic hockey games that's taken place, maybe ever, at least since 1980, probably.
And we're watching high school dance. Now, to be fair,
yeah, there's a reason for it.
The local school was in it.
Yeah.
And took first place. Won state.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, David's there. There he is. He's coaching.
Yeah. And the high school
Dan's
I went to got second.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, they were there.
I didn't know Western Minnesota was a hotbed of dancers.
It has been for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But here's one of my scores.
Is that your dance costume,
Yes,
David?
this is my dance costume. It is a onesie coverall.
Sweet.
That matches the new hats.
Trip about your pants,
So
dog.
That's awesome.
that is very fitting. It is a Winchester
Okay.
brand.
So how old do you think that thing is? 80s probably?
Yeah, probably
90s?
probably 80s.
Don't even trip
I
about your
guess.
pants, dog.
So Dan, we need to see if it fits you.
Okay, here we
It's a
go.
large, but it's big. But it didn't quite
Calling me
fit.
fat?
No, I'm saying I'm too tall for it.
I don't know what camera we can
And
use
Dan's shorter so.
for this.
Come over here.
There you go. This will be your new radio show podcast uniform.
Look, it's going to get a little hot.
Probably.
Talk amongst yourselves.
All right. So it is just a hair different on the color, but very, very close. Camel pattern is about the same, it looks like.
Well, there was only one back in the day.
Yeah, that wasn't old school camo when that came out. That was just
camo.
the new camo.
This would be really cool if it was in a solid color. All right, I got to go off this for a minute.
Oh, gosh. So what
smells
you
really
just got to
old.
grow out. It probably hasn't also been washed
Just
in
been washed?
20 years, 30 years.
We're just watching me watch you put that on right
what
now.
am I supposed
Now,
to do?
I don't know.
I can't produce the show.
now if it fits you,
Oh,
Get myself a little wedge.
that's what David did too.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go. There it is, and the blue looks great.
There's my foot.
you could
Awesome.
grow out a mullet. We can call you
One of you could get up and run the camera.
Joe Dirt,
I could.
Joe Dirt of the hunting world. You know,
Hang on, let me go shave my beard quick back to a mustache.
yeah, there you go.
Fitting.
There it is.
She's
Pretty close.
She's a little snug in some sensitive areas.
Yeah,
Same problem David
that
had.
is the same problem.
So what did you pay for that, David?
A whopping $20.
Oh, and you were going to sell it to Dan for 40?
Nope, $20.
Oh, okay. Okay. Jeepers.
But that would be cool for like an old school hunt. Like break out your old shotgun, Bret. Break out some old goose shells.
Love it. The goose chair or that giant goose shell. There's a giant goose shell around here somewhere
Oh yeah.
that I wanted to try.
Here we go.
All right. Let's talk about that. We got a break, but we got a Lake of the Woods.
School calls.
Yeah. That'd be perfect. Fishing report from Lake of the Woods coming up, and we're also going to talk about some fishing dates. And
I actually have a couple headlines we need to get to that I didn't tell you about before, but
I did not know that.
I just thought of them as we were doing the show.
All right, we got Lucas Mertens from Haybale Heights Campground and Resort with a Devil's Lake fishing report when we come back. Don't miss the 2025 Minnesota Deer and Turkey Classic, presented by Select Heartland Chevy Dealers, March 14th, 15th, and 16th at Canterbury Park in Shakopee. This year's Classic features top outdoor celebrities like Don and Candy Kiske of Real Tree Whitetail Freaks, Melissa Bachman of Winchester Deadly Passion, and Daniel Schmidt from Deer and Deer Hunting. Get your antler score, view more than 300 antler entries, and see the latest hunting products, plus a great lineup of lodges and outfitters. Learn more about the Minnesota Deer and Turkey Classic, March 14th, 15th, and 16th at mndeerclassic.com. All right, thanks for tuning in wherever you're listening or watching this. Lucas Mertens from Haybale Heights is our guest right now. Lucas, how's it going?
Good. We're just trying to get through the rest of this cold snap that we're getting here in North Dakota. It's brutal out there.
Oh man, it's cold everywhere. I remember talking to somebody in North Dakota, actually not too far from Devil's Lake the other day, and they said I think it was going to be 50 some below zero or something. I think the actual temperature was going to be 40 something below, and then the wind chill was 50 below.
Yeah, it's been brutal. Like 28, 30 below temps, and not a lot of wind, so it kind of saved us, but it's sure hard on everything.
Oh yeah, that things start breaking when it gets that cold. But and I'm sure running a guide business, things are breaking anyway, and then you start adding in that cold temp, and even more stuff is going to break. But it's kind of the beauty of being in a snow bear, at least for your anglers, your clients, they get to stay warm and bounce around a little bit. So how are the conditions been on Devil's Lake this winter?
We've had a lot of good ice, not a lot of snow. So snow bear travel, pickup travel, pretty much any way you want to get around has been good. I think we're pushing probably about 32 to 36 inches of ice right now. And not a lot of snow. We got a little bit of snow early, just enough to keep the Hyfaxes going, basically.
It's always something, isn't it? Not enough snow, too much snow. There's always something to think about.
Yeah, I kind of prefer a little bit more snow. I think our fish are a little less skittish. I think a lot of light can get down on the bottom, so I don't mind it when we have some snow on the lake. But the bite has been tough for the most part the last couple of weeks, but I'd say in the last 4 or 5 days, it's really turned around, and we've actually caught some really nice fish.
I've been seeing the pictures on your Instagram page, some tables full of perch there. So that is one thing I don't think people always think about what snow cover does. I remember filming an episode of Prairie Sportsman. Was that last year we filmed that, Dan, or 2 years ago? I can't remember.
Well, we filmed a lot of episodes of Prairie Sportsman, so when you just say I remember filming an episode of Prairie Sportsman,
I know what you're talking about.
No clue what you're talking about.
It was last year.
Yeah, I knew you guys would know where I'm going with this.
I didn't.
Because we were filming, there's an underwater drone, and it was down 30 feet, and we had snow cover, a couple of inches of snow on the ice. and it was a cloudy, overcast day, and you could still see people walking around up there 30 feet down, which I think will blow somebody's mind when they see that for the first time. So there's something to being mobile and being a little bit stealthy when you're out there.
Yeah, for sure. Just you got to drill a lot of holes and try to keep, you'll see those fish move like on your graphs and stuff. So you just got to try to figure out which way they went and then just try to get out in front of them again.
Right. So are they the fishing has gotten better, or you're finding those big schools?
Yeah, the fishing has improved quite a bit. I think we had one group had 40 just yesterday, so I haven't put that picture on yet. And the walleye bite is starting to turn on, and the weather's going to warm up. And like I said, we got lots of ice, so I think we're in for a good March.
Yeah, I know that's something you always think about this time of year. If you got good ice and good weather, you can always extend your season a little bit. And with the walleye season closing on the Minnesota side, I'm sure you get a little bit of bonus walleye action over there at Devil's Lake. And then, how late into the season will you go if you got good ice?
Well, I would say our average is probably the 15th of March, but I can remember years where we were out there into April.
Oh, wow.
So that's real good fishing. The fish are really starting to respond then, and they're getting more active, and it's a good time.
So now you got cabins over there, you got snow bears running. Or do you have room if people try to want to do it themselves over there and just rent a cabin? Do you do that much?
Yeah, we will if we look at our schedule and, let's say we don't have all 6 snow bears running and we have a cabin. I'll rent a cabin out.
All right. And do you have some openings yet for people that want to come over and jump in a snow bear?
Yep. We could still fit some people in.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, how was, I see you got some hunting clothes behind you there, Lucas. How was fall up there? I haven't talked to you in a little while. How was fall for you?
I always give you the farming report, and farming went good. We had a good duck season. Everything went kind of as normal up here, which is kind of abnormal sometimes.
Was it a dry fall for you?
Towards October, we ended up getting quite a bit of rain, October and November, so we froze up wet.
I'm kind of curious what spring's going to look like. And you don't have a lot of snow on the ground either, I'm guessing?
No, not a lot of snow, but that can change in a hurry. All the weather pattern only has to change for 1 or 2 storms, and you're up to your neck again.
Yeah, we haven't seen March yet. We've got plenty of snow coming, I'm guessing.
That's kind of what I've been hearing is when we warm up, the pattern is going to move a little bit north. They were predicting some more snow for us.
Every year. I think last year, I think the only time we got snow last year was Halloween, and then it melted, and then we didn't get, I don't think we got snow again until March last year, if I remember right.
Yeah, we didn't have much snow at all.
Right. All right. Well, got some openings yet this February. Fishing is heating up, and I think with the temps heating up, it's probably just going to keep getting better and better, I'm guessing, over there for you, Lucas.
Yeah, we can see that. I mean, you can tell the bite's coming on. So if people are looking for a last-minute trip, they can get a hold of us for sure.
All right. How do they reach you?
They can get us on our Facebook page, or they can go to our website, or they can call me direct at 701-351-3130.
And we filmed up there last year, too, out of one of the snow bears. So if you want to see what an experience at Hay Bale is like, go to the Fish Hunt Forever YouTube channel.
And that was kind of late season, too. So
it was late season.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
When were we up there? Was that February?
End of February, I think, early March, something around there. It's a lot of fun.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
It was a great trip. Had a great time, and really appreciate you having us up there, of course. So, yeah, if you want to see what late season fishing could be like up at Devil's Lake with Hay Bale Heights, check out that video right now. Dan will put a link in the description maybe down here, Dan.
Yeah, sure. Just more work for Dan. It's fine. When in doubt, let Dan do it.
For sure. HayBaleHeights.com. All right, Lucas Mertens, thanks for the time today on the show, and good luck the rest of the season.
You bet. Thanks for having me on.
It doesn't get much better than fresh perch and fresh walleye. If you're looking for an exciting winter fishing destination, come to Devil's Lake, North Dakota. Haybale Heights Campground and Resort is on the ice with a fleet of snow bears, keeping you mobile and warm so you can stay on the roaming schools of fish. Haybale Heights on the east end of Devil's Lake has knowledgeable guides, comfortable cabins, and their own lake access, making your trip as successful and stress-free as possible. To book your trip, go to haybaleheights.com. That's haybaleheights.com.
Happy Harry's presents the Red River Valley Sportsman Show, March 6th through the 9th at the Fargo Dome. Visit hunting and fishing resorts from the Midwest to Canada. So plan your vacation right at the show. See fishing boats, docks, RVs, and campers, plus fishing gear and the latest in fishing electronics. There's fishing seminars and the Wildlife Adventure Center. It's the Red River Valley Sportsman Show, March 6th through the 9th at the Fargo Dome. Show information at fargosportshow.com, a Sonenko production.
All right, we're back on the show. I'm Bret Amundsen with David Eckhart and Dan Amundsen. And this segment brought to you by Tasman Lake Lodge. Dan, I saw you post something on Facebook yesterday.
Too much drama on the Facebook, so yeah, I had to think about a happy place.
Picture of a giant lake trout at Tasman Lake Lodge. And I happened to post about Tasman yesterday at about the same time. So we're both thinking about warmer weather and big fish in northwest Saskatchewan. Trophy lake trout, northern pike. Find out more at tasmanlake.com. Hey, new prairie sportsman this weekend, by the way, channel catfishing with Darren Troseth in a place that has gotten popular for channel cats over the last, 20 years, probably 10, 15 years, and it's all due to some regulations from the DNR that we're going to tell you all about coming up in this episode of Prairie Sportsman, airing Sunday night on Pioneer PBS at 7:30. Check your local PBS listings or go to the Prairie Sportsman YouTube channel for that. It was a fun show to do, Dan.
It was fun. Different style of fishing. There's a bait that we use that you probably wouldn't expect. Cheapest dead bait, I guess, you could probably ever find. And you could bring it home and eat if you don't catch a fish. So
yeah, that was an interesting choice. And after that, I'm learning that's it's either becoming more popular as a bait choice or it was always there. I just had never heard about it.
Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to get a walleye. Maybe you can get a walleye to eat that. Maybe we'll do that this summer, make a video.
We should definitely try that. Peter Krogh, by the way, also started up a new Facebook group about late season duck hunting. I can't remember what the name of that group is.
I believe it's, oh gosh.
I'll see if I can find it.
Late Season Duck Hunting Alliance, something like that.
Yeah.
He made me an admin on it. I should know.
So there is starting to get some traction and some organized traction among hunters out there to try to send the message that we want some late season duck hunting. Minnesota Late Season Duck Hunters Alliance. There it is right there. Currently 70 members. And to me, well, this is brand new, so I guess you can't really criticize it yet. But to me, that's part of the reason why the push for late season duck hunt is so hard, because there's a lot of hunters out there here in Minnesota that only hunt the first couple weekends maybe.
Yeah, it's funny though. That's a low number for that group, but there have been a pile. If you're a part of any waterfowling, and I know you don't get to see it because you're actually not in that group anymore, the Minnesota Waterfowler Facebook group.
I got kicked out of that group.
Yeah, for whatever reasons.
Because I was putting YouTube videos in there.
But anyways, so there's been a pile of discussion about it in the group and polls and this and that, and almost every single time it's been an overwhelming majority of people saying this season has ended too early. We want some more opportunities late. Yeah. So they're out there, and people are, I think, finally just getting fed up with it.
There's a disconnect between social media and the people that make the decisions, or whether intentional or not. And there just needs to be louder voices speaking up to the people that make the regs. And like I told Peter the other day, we have pushed for late season duck hunting a lot, and what I've proposed is just push the season back a week, because right now I would say that 95% of the ducks that are there at the end of September, if they're not hunted, they're still going to be there the first week of October, because our weather hasn't changed that much in that time. Opening it up in October, that'll give us a chance to hunt mallards at the end of November. There's our 60-day season. Everybody wins. I understand some parts up in the northern zone start to freeze up a little bit.
When's your split?
There's your split.
When is your split if you do that?
When is your split? Well, if you open in October, in the southern and central zones, you don't need one.
Sure you do, if you want to kick it back a week. Otherwise, you're going to end the same week.
You run 60 days from the first weekend.
I know that. But you're going to gain 2 days by doing that if you don't do a split.
Well,
because we already have a 5-day split. So if you just push it back 1 week, so there adds 7 days later. But if you don't do a split, take 5 off of that, so you only gain 2 days.
Well,
so where's your split?
It depends on what day you're opening. So last year we opened September 23rd. Even with that 5-day split, we're still closing up earlier in November. If you open up the first weekend in October, so October 4th this year, and go 60 days from there, what's that going to be? December 2nd then? Something like that? December 3rd? I'd have to do the math, and that just doesn't sound like much. November 30th. And so, anyway, we don't have enough time to break all that down right now, but there's a win for everybody here. There's a compromise and a solution where everybody wins. And like Graham Gresseth was in there commenting, and he's like, well, why don't we just do the early teal at the end of September, then open up the duck season in October, then everybody wins. I'm like, it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I wrote in Outdoor News like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Talking about this very topic. Before they implemented the early teal season, I said, put it late. Then your September hunters that want to go out there when it's 90 degrees and wade through those muddy sloughs and shoot teal and other brown ducks when there's mosquito. Well, you can't shoot other brown ducks, I guess, but you could go out and shoot the teal when there's mosquitoes buzzing around you. You get your hunting, and we'll do that too. I mean, we love to duck hunt. We'll be out there doing it, but I would rather, if I had my choice, I would rather shoot mallards late season. So if we give the early teal guys some days in September, open the regular season in October and go 60 days, everybody should get what they want in that case. Because I know there's duck hunters out there that want to go out there at the end of September and shoot every single duck that flies. If it flies, it dies. Those mallards that you're shooting, honestly, they're going to be, you'd rather shoot a teal, in my opinion, than a September mallard. Like, they're fine, but mallards, you want to shoot late season when they're the skin on, with a lot of fat on there. To me, that's going to be better. Wood ducks, some wood ducks are okay, but still, the later you can go for woodies, the better you're going to be if they stick around. So anyway, we got other things we want to talk about, but go check out that group on Facebook. We got a walleye and sturgeon tournament coming up. I think, Dan, we were talking about this. Is there any other sturgeon fishing tournaments out there, really, that you know of?
Not a localized. I mean, you've got, obviously, the, like, Winnebago. Well, Winnebago is not a tournament, I guess, but it's a big gathering. They're not like a... Darren runs his King of the Cats or King of the Sturgeon tournament, I believe, but that's all over wherever you want. There's not like a localized sturgeon tournament that I've ever heard of.
So that'll be April 8th and 9th on the Rainy River. We base out of Riverbend. It's the SJR 500. It's $40 to enter. 25% of the proceeds go back to Keep It Clean. We pay out a bunch of cash. We got a bunch of prizes. We're going to have some new sponsors this year. It's going to be a great time. Cabins are already filling up. So mark down those dates, and if you want to come and join us on the Rainy this year, get your lodging locked in. Riverbend Resort. I talked to Paul the other day, and he's got some openings right now. So more details can be found at sportingjournalradio.com. It's a Fish Donkey tournament, so we'll get the Fish Donkey app set up here soon so you can get registered for that as well. But it's going to be a good time this year. And David's coming even.
I will be there
Holy
this year.
crap.
Won't miss it.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I missed it last year, but what do you do?
What do you do? Yeah. All right. Dan, you had a couple things you wanted to say, I guess?
2 things.
Okay.
2 news headlines. One, first Bassmaster Elite event starts this week, St. John's. I actually have the odds here, so I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, on who you guys think are going to win. I've got the odds for betting folks. David, Bret, listen up.
Okay.
Justin Thomas plus 2,800. Tommy Fleetwood plus 4,800. Matt Fitzpatrick plus 5,500. Russell Henley plus 6,000. Tony Finau plus 6,500. Corey Connors plus 7,500. Max Homa plus 7,500. And Colin Morikawa plus 2,200. Who do you like and why?
Don't ask me. I'm not a bass fan.
I'd have to look at that list again. Are we going to bet? Should we bet on this?
Well, that's why I'm asking. Who do you like out of that list?
We don't have much time to talk about this, so I'll go with the third guy you said.
Matt Fitzpatrick?
Sure.
You know what's funny? Those are the odds for the Masters. Those are golfers.
Okay, that's that. I was wondering, because I was like, I don't recognize any of those names, and I know bass anglers more than I know the golfers.
Well, so I also don't golf, so
yeah, I could care less about the Masters.
Oblivious.
It's clearly you don't care about the Bassmasters either.
That's why I needed you to repeat the list, because none of those names were familiar. I didn't know any of them.
Bunch of fishing experts here. Can David name one current Bass Elite angler? One?
No.
You want how much? Oh, I was gonna bet on make a side bet, but I guess not.
No.
I'm just going to answer that for you right now.
All right.
That's no.
Your bass fishing leader here, Sporting Journal Radio. Second piece of news that's more exciting than that.
Gotcha.
Remote area border crossing permits.
Oh, yeah.
If you had one last year, it now does not expire until the end of 2025. So there's still a pause on new applications and new renewals and stuff. But if you had one last year that was valid, I think it was starting valid or if you had one that was valid starting September of 2023, I believe. The expiration date of that is now extended until the end of 2025. So you are good to go for canoe trips or Northwest Angle trips or fishing trips into remote area border crossing.
Good news,
areas.
except for people that don't have one. That are hoping to get one for this trip. That part sucks. And I also heard a rumor that part of the reason for this is that Biden blocked Canada from doing background checks. That's all I heard. I don't know anything more than that.
I never heard of it didn't hear anything about it being Biden necessarily, but I did hear that, it was the United States that was doing that info. Now they've stopped it. And that Canada's had some immigration concerns with some deportations, that they felt people were going to start fleeing to Canada instead of being deported back south. So they're overhauling their immigration system. That's all rumor and speculation.
This is way too much politics.
I agree. Let's go back to betting on fishermen that are golfers.
We just got a little bit of time left. We should mention that the walleye season is closing on the 23rd, not the end of the month.
Yeah, Sunday.
So that's this Sunday.
What if we pushed
out? Because this week is so cold. I wanted to go fishing, and I'm like, next week's going to be beautiful. I can go catch some walleyes sitting on the ice. And then I looked up when it closed, and I was like, oh, man.
Well, I think we're going to try to go out this weekend and fish. And I don't know, Dan, last time, we just had 15 seconds. Last time you ice camped, and we should mention.
It was cold.
It was very cold for you.
Yeah.
Because.
Make sure you have enough propane. I ran out. Well, I had extra, but my big tank ran out, so I had to put 1-pounders on. And when you wake up at 4:30 in the middle, it's cold, 10 below, and wind's starting to pick up, holes are freezing in. It got cold real fast. So.
All right, make sure you check the regs if you're going fishing. And the new license system is supposed to kick in, too. There's going to be a new app, but I've heard different things on that. I'm sure we'll talk about that more next week and hopefully have some statements from the DNR about it. And we'll talk Lake of the Woods fishing, which has the extended season anyway. Coming up next with Joe Henry from Lake of the Woods Tourism. Sick of eating tag soup? It's time to own your odds this fall with OnX Hunt, the GPS hunting app trusted by millions of hunters. Now you'll have access to nationwide public and private land ownership information, waypoints, optimal wind for each stand, tracks, and much more. All at your fingertips. Go to onxmaps.com/hunt and use code SJR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your membership. That's code SJR20. All right, Guardian Eagle Resort in Ontario is a great place for you to go walleye fishing next summer. Now is the time to make plans for that trip. They got 2 beautiful lakes and more walleyes than they know what to do with, so you might as well come up and catch some of them and have some delicious shore lunches. You can fly direct from Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, and land right at the runway at their lodge. Go to guardianeagle.com for more details on how you can make a trip to Guardian Eagle Resort in Ontario this summer.
Lake of the Woods, the walleye capital of the world, is calling out to you. From the Northwest Angle to the South Shore and Rainy River, this is the Midwest's #1 ice fishing destination. Walleye, sauger, perch, northern pike, and eelpout. The fishing on Lake of the Woods is like a world of its own. Experience the most amazing fishing through one of the many full-service resorts featuring heated fish houses, ice transportation, meal plans, and sleeper fish house options. For more information, go to lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
All right, now it's time to get a fishing report from Lake of the Woods with Joe Henry from Lake of the Woods Tourism. Joe, how's it going?
Hey, Brett, I'm doing well, and I'm not in a fish house right now, just so you know.
Really? It looks like the brand new ice castle.
That'd be a big fish house.
We got some nice fish houses up at Lake of the Woods. We got some nice sleepers up at Lake of the Woods, but this isn't one of them. This is just a hotel I'm at. But, I'm at the down in Minneapolis for the Explore Minnesota Conference and part of tourism. But, I'll tell you something. We're talking fish on Lake of the Woods, and we've had a good bite. I mean, it's amazing how this bite has held up so long, but I think that just bodes well to the health of our fishery. I mean, we have a a very healthy fishery right now. We have very hardworking guides and outfitters and resorts that are going after these fish, meaning we got some ice roads right now that are over 20 miles out on Lake of the Woods. They don't go 20 miles out because it's less expensive on gas. They don't go because it doesn't ruin transmissions or water pumps or plows or anything else on the truck. They go out there because they're doing everything they can to serve you nicely, serve you well, so that you come back and visit them again next year. They're working hard to get you on fish, and it's working. I mean, a lot of these resorts, they're finding new schools of fish and everything else, and it's just been a great year.
How's the snow cover up there right now, Joe? Is there a lot of snow on the lake, or because at this weather we're still building ice for now?
Yep. Yeah, there's snow. Yeah, we're building ice. There is some snow cover on that lake. You can get around really good, but there's snow cover. That's good because that's going to protect our ice once that sun starts getting hot and coming through and getting that spring sun with a different angle. It's going to protect that ice some. And yeah, we got really good ice right now. I mean, you got to use extensions. Things are looking good for lasting into March. And of course, as listeners know, we have that extended ice fishing season that goes through March 31st, meaning you can leave fish houses on the ice overnight unattended through March 31st. That's like a whole extra month compared to most of the state of Minnesota. In addition, Bret, as you know, our walleye and sauger season goes through April 14th. Our pike season and perch season and tullabies and crappies, they never close. They're open year round. So we really have some nice opportunities.
Joe, I just want to make sure that you're safe down there right now in Minneapolis, because it looks like you're going through an earthquake at the moment.
Oh, really?
He's so excited about late season ice fishing in Lake of the Woods. He's shaking, can't contain it.
I know you're holding your phone.
I don't have all the expensive equipment, the tripods and everything you guys do. I got to use my hand and balance it, And I'll tell you, it's been a long conference. Let me tell you.
Actually, David is sitting over here holding both our cameras up right now. So
he has amazing balance.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You got some standards to live up to here.
All I've been doing lately, Joe, back to back, I've been editing segments for Prairie Sportsman, and the back-to-back segments that I've edited has been exploring the Northwest Angle and then fishing with Jennifer Pudens up at the Northwest Angle. So all I've been doing is staring at the Northwest Angle for the last few weeks, while I'm nowhere near the Northwest Angle. And I kind of it makes me want to go back up there pretty bad. And I mean, we're running out of time. Everywhere else, it seems like, but you do have that extended season is kind of nice to have up there.
I'll tell you, it gives people a whole other option to go up to Lake of the Woods fishing. It's a whole other month of ice fishing, and it can be a really good month too. I mean, it's enjoyable. The days are longer. We still have resorts with fish houses out and everything else. I'll tell you, the other thing too is a lot of these fish will put the feed bag on in March. It's Mother Nature kicks these fish into gear because the old spawn is coming up. With that spawn coming up, these fish know, hey, it's time to start feeding and building up our energy. And boy, they do. You can hit it right for numbers of species. We talk about walleyes, and that's kind of the main quarry. But I'll tell you what, the other thing we don't want to miss in March are the pike. Pike don't school, but I'll tell you, when they start going to their pre-spawn areas adjacent to where they're going to go into the shallows of spawn, they can get congregated in good numbers. And, we have a world-class pike lake. The DNR tells us that we have, so many pike over 40 inches, which is about a 20-pounder. If you want to catch a trophy pike, fish and tip-ups with different kind of baits on a quick strike rig in March on Lake of the Woods is the way to go. In fact, I'll venture out and say there'll be people fishing pike into April on Lake of the Woods this year, I think.
Do we have any rules about ice fishing? The SJR 500? Because, we have another category. So if somebody were to catch a pike,
I think,
in 4 Mile Bay on a tip-up, do we have to enter that, or how does that work?
You have to access the lake from the Rainy River, though.
Yeah, but
from Rainy River access.
But you could put on a Wheeler's Point with the four-wheeler.
I think we said you had to be in a boat.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Because we talked about this, I know.
Well, the first year, I remember being at the gas station in Black Duck, and there were four-wheelers, and we had the boat, and must be spring at Lake of the Woods. But this, with how much ice is up there, that could be another thing this year where the lake is completely locked in, but the river's open, right? And I
think even last year, weren't there guys ice fishing?
Yeah,
on the river.
I was getting there were people ice fishing the lake for sure. I was getting Snapchats of guys at the lake, and we were in the gap, and so people were laughing at us that we were in a boat and they were on ice, and it's a cool time of year up there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too, you guys, because you're right. There'll be people in boats, but there's different parts of the lake, especially if there's no flowing water. If there's no flowing water with ditches opening up and stuff like that, and they just have their normal stable ice, they can last quite a long time. Arneson's would be one of the resorts that they normally fish into April. And the other resorts that access the Big Traverse Bay, they'll be accessing through Bostic Creek and Zipple Bay, and of course over 4 Mile Bay. There's some flowing water there, so we got to. That's why the resorts are so great about watching things as we start getting melting conditions. But this thick ice we're having, we're going to last well into March, and we'll see if we can't even make it all the way through March this year.
Well, I love that. But I will say, as soon as April comes around, I want the whole river open for selfish reasons, of course. Every year it's an access watch. It's been an access watch for years up there at the Rainy River to see what's open and how far up the river you can go and you can fish. But when our tournament rolls around April 8th and 9th, the Sturgeon and Walleye SJR 500 tournament, it sure is nice having those accesses out to Wheeler's Point open for us.
Yeah, it is. It's handy. The funny thing about it is that, in fact, I have a spring fishing meeting this week that we talk about spring fishing on the Rainy River. We talk about, everything from safety to conservation to a number of issues. But it's tradition, and you can't. Mother Nature is going to determine. We can help things out a little bit if the water is moving through, and we can push a little bit of shoreline ice out with a backhoe. But other than that, Mother Nature is going to consider. So are going to determine. You can consider all you want, but Mother Nature is the boss. And, every year is different. I think that's one of the things that makes Minnesota unique. Every year is a little bit different.
Yeah, well, and that will affect maybe how busy the accesses are sometimes too, so it's kind of nice if you can sneak into one just as it's opening up. I remember, Joe, a couple of years ago when we were on day 2 of that tournament. Was it 2 years ago? I can't remember what it was now, but we were there as the accesses... We're there as the accesses were opening up, and so we happened to kind of got rock star parking there because in that one year we had all those volunteers, basically those anglers wanting to help out and get those accesses opened up so they could get in and fish out of that. You
did a video of that.
Yeah. Well, and I had some of the guys send them to me too. I had friends that were up there that I had on Snapchat, that are just randomly people that I had on there that were sending me videos. So thank you to those volunteers once again, of course. And hopefully things work out for us this year, Joe. I cannot wait. I've been talking to, that's one of the things I've been focused on this week is getting geared up. We got some new sponsors for the tournament this year that we'll be announcing. We're lining up prizes and, more and more people. I think Pat Calmerton's coming this year.
Oh, boy.
Maybe Jim Willis.
Despite the trash talking last week, Pat has, it sounds like he's booked a cabin, so he's in. He's taking it up, taking the challenge up.
It is going to be a good time. I cannot wait.
We're gonna have a good crew this year. It's gonna be fun. And I'll tell you what, I would just say all are welcome. I mean, if you don't feel intimidated about joining this tournament, it's fun. It's welcoming. It's $40 per person for a 2-day event. We use a Fish Donkey app, so it's you take a couple pictures of the fish and you release them. That feels good. It's fun.
And those tournaments, so Prairie Sportsman started last weekend, Joe, and the Warrior Shootout with Ken Anderson and the Warrior Boat family. We aired that show on Prairie Sportsman, and that was one thing that stuck out when I watched it again as it aired last weekend, is how he talked about it being essentially a catch and release tournament, a catch, record, release tournament. And to me, that's the way of the future, for sure.
Yeah, we sure like it up at Lake of the Woods. We kind of made a pact that, as a tourism organization, Lake of the Woods Tourism, we're going to be supporting the, if we sponsor any tournaments, we're going to sponsor the catch, record, release tournaments, just because, there's a lot of big fish in Lake of the Woods, a lot of big walleyes. There's a lot of big walleyes that get caught by these tournament anglers. And, to be dragging these big walleyes in a live well across Lake of the Woods, there's going to be a fair amount of mortality. And we just kind of decided that, hey, listen, we love all tournaments. We really do. We've hosted almost every one of them up here. But we really, really are pro catch, record, release for obvious reasons.
Yeah, it's the way of the future, in my opinion, as I said, and I think it's great, and that's why I love using the Fish Donkey app for what we're doing, and I may have mentioned this, but I can't wait. April 8th and 9th. Make your plans now to come up and join us. We'll do a rules meeting, a non-mandatory rules meeting the 7th, that Monday night. And then we do a prize giveaway and a live podcast on Wednesday night after the tournament wraps up. So it's an 8 to 4 tournament each day. So even if you're just going to be up there fishing the rainy, or if it's a spur of the moment thing, and like, oh gosh, the fish are biting, the river's open, let's go, join us for that tournament. And Joe Henry, be safe there in the Twin Cities. Good luck. We'll be praying for you. And then if people want to plan a trip to Lake of the Woods, what should they do?
You guys are bad. You know what?
At least it's not Chicago. Chicago caught strays on the last year.
Man, I'll tell you, you're just digging a bigger hole. I'll tell you, we got a lot of great customers in these parts, you guys.
Absolutely.
You know what?
You bet.
If you want to find out more about fishing Lake of the Woods, check out our website, and that is lakeofthewoodsmn.com.
Sporting Journal Radio is a division of Macaba LLC. If you've got a question, comment, or story idea for us, send us an email. Go to sportingjournalradio.com. While you're there, you can learn how to advertise on the show and visit our store for hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, and more. Go to sportingjournalradio.com.